reaction to our monologue and all the breaking news tonight. He's the former U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, and that is Joe Digenova. Let me start with the IG report. 18 months later, I have a problem. But we did have a good result in the case of McCabe where there was a criminal referral. But now Rod Rosenstein and the DOJ, they have had this report for now 2 weeks. Why are my suspicions the same guy that has obstructed Congress and won't hand over the documents that they've subpoenaed to do their congressional constitutional oversight? Why do I not trust them? That they want changes, revisions, redactions to protect themselves?
Well, the reason is very simple, Sean. Rod Rosenstein is a careerist. He believes in the institution of the Department of Justice and the FBI to the exclusion of any accusations of fault. And what's happening right now is that the IG report is being scrubbed by Rosenstein and his minions and people at the FBI, and they are removing as much embarrassing information about the Bureau as possible. And unfortunately, it's going to delay the release of the report and perhaps put it out during the Singapore summit. This conduct by Rosenstein and the people responsible for the delay is reprehensible, but it is of a pattern because what they want to do is they want to hurt the president. Believe it or not, the Deputy Attorney General wants to hurt the president, and he wants to prevent the release of truthful information, to deny transparency to the American people, to protect career people inside the Department of Justice and the FBI. What happened during the campaign and what happened during the Hillary Clinton email server investigation is a national disgrace. And Rosenstein should be at the forefront of releasing that information, and instead he is trying to hide substantial portions of it.
So it's not going to be Michael Horowitz, the Inspector General, that decides the release date here. So in other words, if it's released anytime between now and all through next week with this historic summit taking place in Singapore with Kim Jong-un and President Trump, would you agree with me that they're either burying it on a summer Friday weekend or they're burying it during one of the most historic summits in history?
Well, there's no question that that is their intent. Otherwise, this would have been released a long time ago. The reason it's being delayed is also to allow the leaks, which you saw today, the partial leak of the description of Comey's insubordination. Wow, that's a big surprise. He was insubordinate. He was more than that. He not only was insubordinate, he subverted the Department of Justice and its core function. Even though Loretta Lynch was compromised, there sat Sally Yates with all of her flaws, who could have easily described what happened and could have decided this case on behalf of the Attorney General. But what's happening now is they're delaying purposely to prevent timely disclosure.
So you're convinced that they're definitely going to try and bury this, and the person that would make that decision
Absolutely.
is who? It's not the Inspector General, right? He doesn't...
No, it's Rod Rosenstein. The Deputy Attorney General controls the release of the report. The report, even though it's going to Congress, is controlled by the Attorney General and the Inspector General. And they have the right to make changes for national security or other reasons, but we know from the record already...
2 weeks worth of changes, 2 weeks worth of redactions, 2 weeks worth of pressuring Michael Horowitz to alter his report.
Right, and remember, the FBI director assigned additional people so that they could respond more quickly.
All right, let me go to what has come out as it relates to what supposedly in the insubordination issue which you raised. No, we know the facts in this case. It's irrefutable. It's indisputable at this point. It's incontrovertible at this point. Hillary, in fact, violated the Espionage Act. She put top secret classified special access programming information on a private server. That's illegal, and she lied about it. And as I said, now that Robert Mueller wants everybody's phones in case they use one of these applications, I guess, you know, WhatsApp or whatever you call this stuff. So he wants all this information, and interestingly, he wants it. And I wonder if everybody that has phones, if they did what Hillary did, and that's delete the emails, delete the app, acid wash the phone, break it up to little bits, and take the SIM cards out, how would that work out for all the people Robert Mueller's requesting phones from?
If they have done any of those steps that you just identified, they would have obstructed justice and we would be subject to prosecution. Of course, that wasn't the way Hillary Clinton was treated, because James Comey conducted a fraudulent investigation. No subpoenas, no search warrants, no grand jury, massive use illegally of immunity. with the permission of the Attorney General and Sally Yates, the Deputy Attorney General. So what you have is a double standard, and it's just flagrantly visible by the way Mueller is conducting his investigation. The ultimate pressure as opposed to the ultimate no pressure in the Hillary Clinton investigation.
Yeah, and what about the larger role? We know, we've only got a sampling of Strzok's text messages with Lisa Page. The absolute hatred they had for Donald Trump. Last week we broke a story on this program that said, no, this is being run out of the Obama White House. And then, of course, they're the ones that want the insurance policy. He's the guy that interviewed Hillary 2 days before they exonerated her, but they were writing the exoneration in May. This was July. He's the guy that interviewed Flynn and said he didn't lie to the FBI. He's the guy that then flew to London and was involved in the investigation of Trump immediately. And Robert Mueller appointed this guy. When are the charges against him coming?
Well, I don't think there's any doubt that the Inspector General's report is going to deal with all of that. It's impossible not to. And if it didn't, then of course the Horowitz's performance would be abysmal. But I expect it to deal with it. Strzok is a very, very serious person in all of this. He would probably be someone, because of the knowledge that he has of Comey's and other activities, who may very well be immunized. But my guess is that there will be criminal referrals from the investigation involving the way the FBI covered up the Clinton investigation, and basically as a bunch of dirty cops led by the senior dirty cop, James Comey, through the case. It's really the most embarrassing situation in the history of the FBI.
I have faith because there are 30 FBI agents, and I predict they're going to be the heroes in this story, that want to be subpoenaed by Congress. Yeah. They want to tell the story of how corrupt their bosses were. They'll be the heroes, the rank and file. We can trust them. All right, Joe Digenova, appreciate it.